allow the two children to attend the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
Off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. ẹ̀sìn tó bá rúfin o. àní ẹ̀ sọ́ra jù.
Today. Hello there. Morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live. Thank you very much for joining me. By the way, if you have read the caption of this broadcast, please read the description of the broadcast as well. That is where the details of what we'll be talking about, lies. So that is where you're going to see all of, okay, what is tonight's going to be about. Then, if you have read the description as well, like the broadcast, share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell all of them that Mayegun today, that is the routine. It's like the ritual. After that, you can begin to engage yourselves in the comment section back and forth in reaction to the revelations coming from this temple of truth this hour. So again, an image has made it onto the social media. This time around, it is coming from Ekiti. And the news report was that Ekiti Sharia Tribunal, they didn't even call it a court. It is called Ekiti Sharia Tribunal. And I think they deliberately put it in the media for our reactions. Remember, in the last 2 weeks, we had this back and forth controversial push from the supposed Islamic fanatics, the extremists in Yorubaland, who were pushing, by the way, that there must be an established Sharia court in Oyo and the rest of Yorubaland. We reacted, reminding everyone then that the freedom of religion, the freedom of, choice of religion, and then the religious coexistence and tolerance in Yorubaland is top-notch, where everyone practices whatever religion they choose without any without any kind of hindrances or what have you. But we also remember that there are those within Yorubaland who believes that somehow the Muslims in Yorubaland, they are pretty much like powerless, whatever that even means. In their word, they said the idea of the moderates of Yorubas admitting that you are free to practice all your religion as they are free to practice theirs is not really, right, a good thing for the Yoruba Muslims. According to them, they want a special law whereby they would have their own courts and possibly have their own Isba, police, and the rest of that. Because they believe that the Yoruba Muslims are very soft. Like they are not really following the teachings of the prophets, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And therefore they want to have their own sort of, law, put into to the Yoruba, sort of laws. So we reacted and said, if they are not comfortable with the way the religion is balanced in Yorubaland, where the Muslims are running their own affairs, the Christians are running their own affairs, as well as the traditionalists. Yeah, we've never had any religious crisis in Yorubaland, and we don't intend to have one because of the hypocrisy of these fanatics. And then they themselves responded by pushing the narrative of they would have it and nothing will happen. But we later found out that some of those who were pushing the idea, they were mostly on social media, but they are very intentional. Many of them are actually like funded to push the idea and test the water. So when people rejected the idea of them establishing a different court to the general court that everyone uses in Yorubaland, because listen, the idea of Sharia is, is synonymous to the Muslims. If you are a Muslim, they have this conflict resolution mechanism where within the Islamic community, right, they have the, their own sort of leaders that they actually really mediate in disputes, settle disputes between Muslim to Muslims, right? And then they also, mediate between, the Islamic inheritance sort of, okay? However, they feel like that is not enough, the fanatics to start with. So you see this image that made it to the internet earlier today. The report that followed it was that they settled marriage disputes in Ekiti. Now, I don't know the ratio of the religion bodies in Ekiti. So to say, like, okay, how many are Christians or how many are Muslims, or how, I don't really have all of that. But the agenda of pushing this into the media, we know why, okay? And we also know that, it is something that if you know Akinola, what's that man's name, of MURIC, because he also spoke to the media. And what he told them was that it's not that the Muslims are not like allowed to practice their religion in Southwest. But what they are demanding for is that there are some limitations set before them in which they are not supposed to be, according to him. He said they need authority, okay? Whereby if their Sharia tribunal or their Sharia, proclamation are made, they want an authority, whereby if they say, okay, the Sharia says it has to come to pass. So the idea of them just existing in, in just for existence's sake is not enough anymore. So, for example, if couples who get married in Islamic way, right, using Sharia, and they want to separate, and then they want to share properties or something like that. So the other party can possibly go to another court, which is not Sharia court, and enforce the judgment from that normal conventional court. So what Akinola, or what's his name is, Ishak Akinola is pushing is that as it is currently set up, the conventional courts in Nigeria, or in Yorubaland, precisely in Yorubaland, is more, comes with more authority than their own Sharia tribunal. That, whatever ruling that they issue out or gives, it's not really binding. So therefore, they must have their own courts. And I think that is where we are going to have a problem. You know why? It is also in the, for those who actually understand this very well, right? The problem is not really with Islam. The problem is with the fundamentalists, the extremists, who believes that they can actually like exist as an authority above any existing authority. And what does that mean? In the northern part of Nigeria, where they have this political Sharia, the idea behind it is not really to enforce the ethic, all right, the morality of Islam on the people. It is to subjugate them, okay, control them, and possibly, more or less like force them to do the bidding of the ruling class. So the ruling class are always like above that law, the Sharia. So it's only the poor that are subjected to whatever they dictate this, this fundamentalist pushes. And that is why it is a no-no to us in Yorubaland. So if it is about settling disputes, fight between Muslims, in a way, I mean, that is already happening in Yorubaland. And I think that is what we saw in Ekiti, or this particular image from Ekiti. That is what it represents. They have the Imam, they have I don't know other names they give to their chiefs and all that, okay? So they are always there to mediate, to interpret what the Hadith, the Quran says about any issue, okay? And to bring a bit of, peace among themselves, which is fine, it's happening. But we all know that those who are asking for more, what they are asking for is almost nothing to do with Islam per se, or the morality around it. It is just to give some people some level of control in Ile Ife, right? Ife is the source, and Yorubas, we are traditionalists. Genuinely, we are. We are not Muslims, we are not Christians, even though, like originally, you get. So, but even though we have converts of these religions in Yorubaland, we are traditionalists. And we have enough of all this traditional religion, like in parts in Yorubaland and Ile Ife, that we believe is the source of the Yorubas, is the headquarters of all these traditions. Olobatala, Shango, Olojo, Oshun, and all those kind of, you know what I mean? Like, Ife is the source. But something happened yesterday. I think they are doing the Olobatala festival, right? So an image, a very gory image. I'm not putting that on the screen, okay? But I'll tell you, I will describe it for you. An old woman who, according to her and as her daughter, she lives in Lagos. But in the last 6 years, she has been visiting Ife to celebrate, because her daughter converted to become a traditionalist and Olobatala worshipper. And they have their annual Olobatala sort of festival, I think every January, okay? So, and there are some rites that surrounds this festival. They hurt no one, they harm no one. But somehow, 2 nights ago, thereabouts, they were coming back from their groove, coming into town, and they said traditionally, right, the lights outside or wherever their path, they have to put out the lights. If there are cars approaching, they have to dim their headlights. It's bike men, they have to dim their headlights. If they are passing through, compounds or what have you, they have to turn off the lights. It is part of their celebratory, what have you. But they got to a particular spot that they believe is the area of the Imam of Ife. Okay, and from nowhere, some mob started stoning them, in which they strongly believe that they were doing so on the order of this Imam, who himself possibly is from Ife. Is very much aware of this particular festival, as well as the rights around it, the right of way of the worshippers is aware, or just not comfortable with it anymore. And this is not the first time. It's not the second time. In fact, it is not the 10th time that the Islamists in Yorubaland have actually attacked traditionalists. They've always been the only one. I have not really seen anywhere yet where Christians attack a traditionalist in Yorubaland. It's always been this Islamist, this fundamentalist in Yorubaland, and they are 100%. If we remove Ilorin, the rest of them are like 100% Yorubas. Who knows? They are from these communities. They know. But because of all this religious thing and this intolerance that is now brewing in Yorubaland, left, right, and center, right? We have seen them attack the traditionalists. And in some cases too, the traditionalists have retaliated, like serious kind of like a confrontation as well. So according to the woman, as they were coming back from, from their groove, and when they got to this particular spot, some mob started hurling stones, heavy stones, at these worshippers in the dark. That an old woman got so injured that she became bloody. If you see her face, the bloody face, and then you see the swollen face. So she personally expressed her experience here in Yoruba. I'll come back and tell you what she said.
So mama lele wọ́n ti discharge wọn lọ́sàn yìí. So mi bá ti bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ látàárọ̀. Èní ni ọ̀sẹ̀ Olobatala. So a ṣe parí ọ̀sẹ̀ òrìṣà ni. So mama ni wọn kò den ṣe fẹ̀nà ń gbé Èkó náà wà ní Kòròdú. Wọn den ṣe olórìṣà. Church náà ń lọ CAC. Wọ̀ láti bí 6 years. Tèmi náà ti di Olobatala gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ wọn. Wọ́n ti máa ń wá every January láti bá wa ṣe ọdún Ọbàtálá. So àwọn lele mama ó yá ṣàlàyé nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lánàá.
Ẹ pa
òrìṣà ẹ pa.
Ẹ kú ọdún o. Ayọ̀ la fi bẹ̀rẹ̀, ayọ̀ la máa fi làjà o. Bí a ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa wá o, táwọn èèyàn family máa wá, táwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi náà wá. Àwọn kan tún ṣe lọ lánàá. So gbà tá lọ sí igbó Ogbe tá ń gbé òrìṣà bọ̀. Wọ́n bá ń gbé òrìṣà yẹn bọ̀. Wọ́n máa ń paná gbogbo ìlú ni. Gbogbo ibi tó òrìṣà yẹn bá máa gbà. Ó máa òkùnkùn ní wọn. So àwọn ọlọ́kadà wọ́n máa paná, àwọn car wọ́n máa park, wọ́n máa bọ̀wọ̀ fún òrìṣà. Àwa dé ibì kan tó ń pè ní Mọ̀rẹ̀ ní oríta mẹ́ta. Wọ́n kàn bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ju òkò ẹni àǹgù, òkò lọ́tún àti ìgò ìgbàgbàgbà kò síbi tá a máa sá sí. Ìsàlẹ̀ tí mo tún ní kí n sá lọ, àwọn kan tún ń sá bọ̀. So òkò tán ju òkò àwọn òkúta lókè ńlá yẹn ló orí mi báyìí gbáà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ jẹ́jẹ́ sẹ́lẹ̀ sí níta tí gbogbo èèyàn ṣàgbé mi. Àtàná gan ni mo ti wà ní hospital, mo bleed gan ni. Inú òkùnkùn la wà. Ṣùgbọ́n ibi tán ti ṣiṣẹ́ yìí, mo máa gbolé ibẹ̀, ibi tán ti ń jáde, ibi tán ti ń wọlé, tó kò ń gba.
So, according to the old woman, right, 6 years ago, her daughter became an Olobatala worshipper. So, and every January, her mom will visit her with her friends. The mom is not a traditionalist. She is a Christian, a Christ Apostolic Church goer, a CAC woman. As a mother, she will bring her friends from Lagos. They will travel down to Ile Ife to celebrate the festival, like I said earlier, with her daughter. So we have this fundamentalist who happen to be the Imam of Ife, by the way. That is the man they alleged, right, was behind the attack there are instances prior to that. Okay, for example, is openly condemned this, this sort of a tradition, kind of, and is also promised them that it was going to show them this particular year. This is why the fingers have been pointed at him. All right. So the woman, according to what she said there, she knows those behind the attack. She knows the household where this happened. So he said when they were coming back from the group, like I said, they got to this spot called MURIC. And that was where they started hurling stones at all of them. Unfortunately, she happened to be the main, victim of that attack. Other people sustained other kind of injuries too. That she bled enough that she ended up in the hospital, like saw her face and all that. Intolerance. Personally, right? I don't want to make it a big thing, but even though it is, you see, in Yorubaland, the people that have suffered the religious intolerance in Yorubaland have been the traditionalists, right? They have been the most condemned. They have been called evil deeds. They have been called so many things. But I have not seen anywhere where the traditionalists, for any reason, stage an attack, like unprovoked attack on any other religion. Or again, don't forget, I'm not going to say this is, because it is Yorubaland, right? I'm not going to say this is what the Islamists or the Muslims are all about in Yorubaland. They are not. But we are experiencing some new fundamentalist extremists. Somehow, maybe because we now have the social media where everything, as they happen, they are likely going to make it onto the social media with evidence. Maybe that is why we have more of these instances. We have more of all this evidence of these attacks these days. Yeah? But it is like there are coordinated sort of an attack on the traditionalists in Yorubaland. And that should call for concern, or it does kind of call for concern. So I've been trying to get what that Imam looks like, because that can help us. Like, the Imam of Iseyin, who was captured on camera, telling his congregation that the Imam is the father of king, that the Imam will never prostrate for any king. Rather, it is the king that will prostrate for Imam. That in his own religion, he is above the supposed constituted Yoruba traditionals too. And he's saying, I think, in the same Oyo state. So we have had this coordinated sort of, sponsored attacks on the Yoruba's tradition. And the people they are using, they are not externals. They are Yorubas. And this is a region where, all these religions are kind of like warmly welcomed, where everyone practices their belief without any hindrance or what have you. But suddenly, they are now brewing the idea of intolerance that will then make a lot of people, right, to possibly question what is the motive behind all of this. So we'll put it out there and keep putting this out, right? And the responsible authority, as much as the place is so lawless anyway, but yeah, the authority responsible for issues like this will take it up and ensure that this never happened again. Because one of the things that we must do our best to avoid in Yorubaland is this religious war. And the religious war is kind of war that, nobody wins. Because everyone will believe that they are fighting to protect their faith. Their own faith. And in that regard, it's going to be probably the last man standing. And in cases like this, there will never be any last man standing. So if they want to decimate the people, push the idea of religious war among them, because I am very sure. You know what people told me these days? Now we have young people who are now withdrawing from Islam or withdrawing from Christianity or churches and all of that. And they are actually picking up traditional religion now. Because why? And I'm saying this not because it's currently at the highest scale. Okay? Maybe that is why there are people that will likely disagree, which is fine. But we are now having people who are dropping the idea of Islam, idea of Christianity, and according to them, going back to the traditional way of worship for different reasons in Yorubaland right now. So that simply means that if things should go south and people begin to want to defend what they believe, there is going to be a massive decimation of ourselves, or because we want to defend what we call our faith. And the purpose is not for any of us to win. The purpose will be for us to be decimated and weaken ourselves from within. What has never happened in Yorubaland before, we now want to become the norm, right? Once you have weakened yourself, anywhere two brothers fight to death, it is always the strangers that will inherit their land. So the supposed people who are meant to be the elders of the land should, I know they are doing their best. I saw the other day where the Christian leaders, the Islamic leaders, as well as the traditionalist leaders, by Yemele and the rest of them, publicly denounced those who are pushing the idea of division, religious division in Yorubaland. So we need more of that. We need to continue to remind those who, who are sponsoring them, pushing this kind of a divisive rhetoric in Yorubaland to desist. Yeah? To desist. Still in Yorubaland. Someone sent me a clip. And it's a clip of, we are talking about the level of poverty, unemployment, as well as the increase in crime. There is something about poverty. Wherever there is increase in poverty, anywhere, there will be increase in, there will be increase in crime. Because people want to survive. Unfortunately, right? It's, people will not go on and rob the people that looted them. They won't go on and then steal from those that put them in this economic situation, like bad economic situation. It is always going to be dog eats dog. I think you may find this video a little bit funny, but it's not. So I'm going to share that with you. It's also like almost in Yoruba. There was these two men who were planning to rob a compound. And their technique, right, is something that is like ingenious. So let me tell you before I play the video. They arrived at this compound. Probably they have been surveilling the compound for a while. So when they got outside on their bike, they packed stones and they flung the stones into the roof of the compound, expecting people at least to come out and say, who are those people throwing stones? So if no one responds, definitely the house is empty and they could go in and then rob the house. But the house was not empty. People didn't respond. The house was not empty. Someone or two guys, two people were actually at home. recording the attempted robbery in Yoruba. Let me show you.
Irọ́ ni o. Irọ́ ni o. Kí ló tó yìí dá òkúta?
Àwọn fẹ́ mọ̀ bí àwọn wà nílé mi. Ẹgbẹ́ tó ń bá dà òkúta bẹ́ẹ̀ tí èèyàn bá wà nílé mi á pariwo pé ká lé mi. Kàyé ló ti gbà wọ́n.
Ṣé ká pa ẹ̀dùn? Ẹ já pariwo lé lórí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Bóyá dádì Tolú wà nílé.
Inú ti pariwo. Jáde sí i. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ká mú ká ká nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe.
Eléyìí bá ń sọ àwọn èèyàn ní báyìí.
Kí nǹkan ló máa fàárọ̀ ayé wọn ṣiṣẹ́, wọ́n fàárọ̀ ayé wọn ń jalè.
Ẹni mú wá káàkiri.
Òní nǹkan. Àwọn ilé tí ń jalè ti pẹ́ o. Wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa ń jalè yìí o.
Méjì rí wọn.
Wọ́n náà ti dé. Ṣé wọ́n ṣe máa ń ṣe ìlú tàbí bá ti dá? Ṣé pé ìdíjẹ́ yẹn ló lọ?
Wàhálà ìdíjẹ́ ló lọ.
Ṣé pé ìdíjẹ́ yẹn ló lọ?
Wàhálà.
Tó má dáadáa.
Bàbá yẹn dẹ̀ máa ń pariwo pé wọ́n ń jí òun ní nǹkan.
Ṣé ó wá lọ pè kejì ẹ̀ wá? Wọ́n àtún kápò dání.
Ọmọ.
Káì, àwọn ilé tí ń ṣe ti pẹ́. Àwọn ilé tí ń ṣe ti pẹ́, wọ́n ti ń ṣe ti pẹ́.
Ṣé wọ́n yìí rò bí wọ́n rí wa?
Wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa ṣe àwọn gangan ni. Àwọn ni wọ́n ṣe máa gbé jẹnẹrétọ̀ ní jẹnẹrétọ̀.
Ẹ já pariwo bẹ́yẹn.
Ẹ̀mí ti dàgbà, ẹ̀jẹ̀ àwọn ọ̀gá tó fẹ́ ṣe rẹ̀.
Ǹjẹ́ àmọ̀ yìí pé ọjọ́ gbogbo ń tó lọ?
Ọjọ́ kan ní tó lọ.
Ọjọ́ kan tó ló wọn báyìí.
Wọ́n mọ̀ pé àwọn àwọn.
Wàhálà.
Wọ́n lè máa ní ìkíní. Àwọn ilé with confidence náà fi wá o. Wàhálà àwọn ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa ṣe.
Wọ́n tún mú mi.
Ní bá rí wọn ẹrù bóyá bólà ni wọn ò dé ṣe bólà.
Wọ́n kàn mọ́ kúrọ́ máa bólà. Àwọn bólà náà ní tiwọn lọ́wọ́ o.
Àwọn ilé tún le ju àwọn bólà lọ.
Wọ́n fi sí wọn ni.
Ìgbà ni àpò yẹn náà gbà. Mo rò bí ìtàn máa ń gbé òkè tó yìí. Àwọn ilé ti gùn gan. Ẹ gbà mí.
Ẹ ká pariwo bẹ́yẹn. Tó ń kó àpò lọ́wọ́ kó mọ̀ bá sí traces.
Àwọn ilé ti ń jalè ti pẹ́.
Tí àbá rìkọ́dù báyìí a kàn sọ pé àárín wọn.
Àwọn ò ní gbàgbọ́. Àwọn ilé ti ń ṣe tipẹ́ o. Wọ́n ti ń ṣe tipẹ́ o. Wọ́n ti ẹ̀bẹ̀rù tó nílé bá gbá wọn kí ló fẹ́ sọ.
Kí ló tún wá?
Láì wọ́n ṣe máa ṣe. Wọ́n ṣe máa ṣe.
Ẹni sùúrù. Inú ẹjẹ́ ajé ó di kán ti gbé ká bá lọ́wọ́ wọn. Torí bóyá wà ń bẹ̀ yẹn wọ́n lè ní pé àwọn ń kọjá lọ ni.
Wọ́n lè deny.
Dáràn.
Ilé ti gúdù. Wàláì wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa ṣe o. Wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa ṣe rárá ni. Ẹ dúró ná. Tí kìíní yẹn bá yẹ̀ lù kí náà fẹ́ sọ.
Á lọ bá wọn sálẹ̀ ní ìsinyìí o. Kí ló fẹ́ ṣe?
Ẹ jẹ́ àwọn ọmọdé rẹ̀ ṣe. Ó ní kí yẹn dúró. Àwọn ọkàn wọn balẹ̀ lórí nǹkan tó ń ṣe. Wọ́n ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máa ṣe. Ṣọ́n lóògùn wa ni àbí kí nìkan tá a fẹ́. Ikú pa yín lẹ́yìn.
Ẹ ní sùúrù. Lọ bá wọn ní ìsìn.
A gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ kán gbé lọ.
Láyé wàhálà ọwọ́ wọn ti ṣẹ́gi lónìí. Bọ̀ ẹrù àdàtà ń mú lọ́wọ́ ní bèbí o.
Àwọn onílé máa sọ
A kàn pariwo náà ni.
Padà ló ń dùn yẹn.
sáwọn ló lọ gbọ́ bàbá.
àwọn eléyìí wọ́n gbùgbọ́ o.
ìyàgbẹ́ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì náà bọ̀.
wọ́n ti bàbá àtàwọn ọdún mi evidence rẹ̀.
ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ dúró sẹ́yìn lẹ ní ọ̀kadà sẹ́yìn lẹ ní jẹnẹrétọ̀ tẹ́ gbé yẹn. sẹ́yìn lẹ ní ọ̀kadà sẹ́yìn lẹ ní jẹ olè.
ṣé bàbá onílé yóò sì lé ni.
níbo ni dádì Tolú lọ.
níbo ni dádì Tolú wà lọ.
ní ìròbẹ́ nìyẹn kan wà nílé.
No, when I was also watching the video, right, I was like, scream now. What? I mean, are you going to let them carry the generator? Are you going to actually like watch them put the generator on a bike and then speed off? But it's not actually, I mean, it's not really, you know, a small gen. So it wasn't that easy as well. But the confidence, about that kind of confidence, I don't know the level of poverty or criminal mind that you must have, that you have to scale a fence to go and steal generator in a locked compound. In Nigeria, right, people have to provide their own houses. They have to build their own houses from scratch. They also have to provide their own water, electricity, as well as build high fences, like in prison, like they are in prison yard, in order to prevent thieves or criminals from robbing them. Like people have to actually practically live like they are inside prison. Some will build fences, tall fences. They will still build, I mean, they will still mount barbed wires on top that. And you see, barbed wires on top of the fence. Not just that, they will still electrify the barbed wire just to ward off criminals. And the poorer the people become, the desperate they also become. So it's like dog eat dog, robbing themselves. And like at the last clip, I mean, last scene of that video, I could hear one of the thieves saying, if you come closer, I will cut you with the machete that he was holding. That is what they would do. Like, if you get closer to them, they will machete you. But the calculation was totally off. They knew that there was no one in that house. They knew that. Except that the neighbors were at home. The neighbors were around. And the neighbors were those who stopped them. Do you see that it took just 5 minutes, about 5 minutes, to jump into the compound, pick up the generator, put it on the fence, and then, put it down on the side of the fence, brought their bike, 5 minutes. It wasn't like forever. It wasn't like, it took them 30 minutes. No. 5 minutes. And this is what people have been subjected to in that place. You can get robbed anytime. And if you are lucky, if you're lucky, you will live to tell the story. There are others that won't be that lucky. They will kill them. People are being killed because of phone. They want to snatch your phone. They will stab you. They will even shoot you for a phone. This is the Nigeria that see, listen, it's not as if to see like it is new, all right? It's not new. But when you see the reports of the, of the constant insecurity, robbery, vandalism, I mean, it's not just that too. It's called burglary, rather. Burglary, robbery, and the rest of that. The level at which this is now happening in that place can tell you more about the state of the country. People have to survive, they will say. if they are not, yesterday I shared with us the guy that was doing one chance, robbing people by pretending to be a public bus, a public transport. Once you enter the bus, they will rob you of your phone, your money, your everything, then they will push you down from a moving, from a moving vehicle. And then you can sustain all kind of injury that you end up in the hospital. But my own grouse with all of these guys is that if they are so smart, they should be robbing the people that are robbing them, the criminal politicians that are stealing from them. In Edo State, in Benin, to be precise, where the APC, Egbekegbe, have now hijacked power there. And their thugs, who are so desperate, right, to rob the hardworking, innocent people. I kind of want to be very careful using that word, innocent, because when you check on what happened in Benin or Edo State in their last charade, we all know that even the people themselves are not really innocent, right? All this misgovernance and then the rigging, the robbery, and the rest of that, the people themselves are not like totally innocent. Majority of them were in cahoots. They are in support of validating, enabling the robbery of this APC, and the consequences is upon all of them. Now, so a man has posted a clip of his own personal experience in the hands of the APC thugs who have been forcefully or like enforcing the forceful extortion on the motorists in the states. So from this guy's experience, this.
I know the executive, I know the anything, but I surprised say some group of people, they come meet me, then they like 16. And so they come begin beat me. Even their oga, no molest, they inside the motor. They inside one of the in-laws, but they don't come down. One, inside, where Baba Akpata, Baba Benin chieftaincy here. Baba Benin chieftaincy here. After everything, they don't beat us, they come with police and soldier and civil defense. After they don't beat us, they force us enter inside motor. As they force us enter inside motor now, I can't give my bag to one of the woman where they sell something there. Do you know say this guy where he call himself Obodo?
Egosa Bembo.
Egosa Bembo Obodo. Now that they call him. He collect money when I want to go dispatch my wife from hospital. My brother, I'm sorry for her. Who know her? Make he tell her, make he return that money. Who know her? Make he tell her, make he return that money. We collect from that bag. Because hard way enter inside hole. Now I know what you see inside the hole. Because I never see where a chief of Benin go Baba Akpata they steal. They do armed robber. I never see her for my life. Now the first time when I bet my good people for those things. The monarch of Benin, make una look into this issue. Make una call that guy where Baba, that chief where rob me. Make call him. You see every day.
Egosa Bembo Obodo.
I know say Baba Akpata. The Baba Akpata for head. He robbed me of my belongings. So thank you very much.
We are going to provide you with insecurity.
So Bebo that Baba Akpata that robbed that man is hereby advised to return what they took from him, or else the next video I'm going to share on this platform from that Benin may just be like, the reverse, the return of Abijah, the Padabo Abijah, for saying. Brethren, yesterday, the Arewas, hang on, even before we get to that, here is another one, still covering crime and criminals and all of that, okay? In River State, in Port Harcourt, about 2 or 3 young men, they have been arrested for killing another young man in a coordinated attack that is believed to be a robbery gone wrong. The police paraded these guys and they confessed to what they did. Here, watch this.
How dem carry kidnap this Roland speech Oxford. As dem kidnap am finish, they come dey see dey demand money from the parents. So come dey ask the mother. They come ask her make she pay 30,000 naira. The mother pay 30,000 naira. They come still demand 300,000. The mother still give them 300,000. Now they come tell the mother say make the mother bring 2.5 million. Then the woman say abba, make I hear from my pikin now. As the mother dey request say she want to hear from this boy. Already these people don kpai her son o. Abeg, maybe all the things I go tell una, make una hear am from their mouth. How dem use arrange this thing and how dem use kpai the boy.
My name is Ston since Friday, endurance at my private state. Met to local government, Ikoron. So on the 10 breaking 11, I get one guy in a call Roland Hotspot speech. I don't know since last December. They always come by hard drug named Charlie to my hand. One time you see now take a life this guy will do. So when I come read land like that, now people come, they come check and come see 3 personas. So they come begin beat the guy with this king. So they come use king begin to lock the guy. They come carry and put inside keke. So the boy don't come give up inside keke. As the boy give up inside keke, now you come go check, the boy don't give up. They carry on that keke. Abuluma area. They can't carry the boy, go dump the boy there. As they dump the boy there, for that Abuluma there, and I see the things happen. Police come arrest me.
My name is Imam Saturday Titus. I come from Akwa Ibom State. My local government is Ekiti, Ibiana. I come jam endurance for Mbong where they do business. We are selling abroad, Charlie, Kulos, Loud. I no feel like me, I flog the boy from leg. I just throw the boy like 3 I leave, go continue my business back. I belong to Iceland Court Group.
My name is Governor Sunday Elijah. I'm from Akwa Ibom, Ika local government, Ika community. I'm 21 years. As I come the down, come here they sell Igbo. I get place where they sell Igbo, this 50 naira Igbo. But yeah, I belong to Iceland.
My name is Buma Otonye from Okujago. Nickname na small body, SSC. Belongs to Iceland. There, they like to go there, go very loud, go smoke for waterfront for there, go relax. As I go this year, they don't scatter the place, rats everywhere. As I go back, now they tell me the history say, in key person, carry and put for keke, carry and go Zuboko.
But wetin I want to let una know say dead body no get mouth to talk o. This dey pain me. Person wey don die no fit defend himself. My people, why I dey bring this story dey come tell una so? Make una know as una dey waka o. Make una know as una dey relate with people o. Because at the end, make una know say dead body no get mouth to talk o, and he no get mouth to defend himself. Thank you, my country people.
All right. So to those of you who may find their language hard to understand, let me give you the idea of what happened. According to them, that young man came to buy loud from them. And then something happened. He died. Even though one of them claimed that the person who sold him the drug, loud, claimed that he killed him. Meanwhile, before they were arrested, like the police officer said, when the guy died, they started extorting his family, his mother, until the woman demanded to speak to his son to know if his son is even still alive. So the first 2 or 3 guys, they were drug dealers, okay? The last 2 guys are like the users who were raided by the police when the corporates were being rounded up or arrested. Did you also hear the part where one of them said his age? They are mostly in that age bracket. You see, 25 years of democracy in Nigeria has done Nigeria a great deal of evil. the generation born when Nigeria was to gain democracy 25 years ago. This generation has been the most hit, you know, with the bad governance, failed governance in the last 25 years of democracy in Nigeria. This is the generation that the criminal politicians actually had no plan for. Just like the other generation that are now being born into it. At the first 25 years, so shall it be in the next 25 as well. So 50 years of democracy, if it lasts that long, is always going to be there to ruin the lives. And there are millions of them out there with no real proper education, no skill, no nothing, but they are existing from the north to the west, to the east, to the creek, all over the country. These are supposed to be the victims of a failed country, but yeah, you know, we can possibly just be grateful that we have a democracy and it is not a military rule. Now in Anambra, okay, yesterday, was it yesterday when I shared with us what happened in Anambra 2 days ago when one of the group assembled by Soludump to fight insecurity, kidnapping, and what have you in Anambra State. And one of them said that their job is to go after the kidnappers, drug dealers, and drug users. Now, I think they have come up with their first, what they call their first rodeo, their achievement. And that is, you know, I said something as well yesterday when I said, you see, if they are going to go after the real criminals, the kidnappers, for the sake of peace, for the hardworking people who have become the victims of failed, you know, governance also in Anambra State, there will be a great deal of good. However, today, this team of vigilantes, they have paraded like 40 to 50 people that they claimed are drug dealers, as well as pickpockets, petty criminals, as their first achievement in 48 hours, somewhere in Ogbaru, in Anambra, where they paraded them in the most dehumanizing way. So viewers' discretion is advised. Just watch this.
Ebe anyị nọ kịta bụ na Ogbadu local government headquarter. Ndị anyị na-afụ ebe a bụ some hoodlums. Enwetara this morning, as usual, and the strike force Ogbaru have been on a very serious work in line with the security agenda of Mr. Governor to sanitize every angle in Okpoko. They have been on this for a while now. Since over 3 or 4 days now, they have been investigating some bad spots where criminals are hiding, especially some bunks where hard drugs are being taken. If you look at here, you will see some people in Anya for the evidence. We don't know about different type of drugs and the materials. We never ranging from Igbo, Mpulumili,
and drug
and the cocaine, pure cocaine. This one is a pure cocaine. You can see it. That's cocaine. Fanam Elisi. Even POS machine make transactions. Okay, these are their faces. Bring your face up. Come on. Your face up. Your face up. Your face up. So open an phone. Look at me. Freeway in drug will give you. Drug will give you. Never Oyenka. Bonus low here. If I get back before you. You have been here before, I've me before. How about I go before? The guy, I have to call you also. Okay. Okay. I'm from where you can day now. Where you can go back before? Okay. You should understand prison matter. As it is prison matter. Okay. That's good. On your here, we want you to bring your face. Shut up. Madam Marketa has no young for the men. Madam has no young for the we bonk. Okay. As a wine has no young for the lem afia.
God forbid.
Hey, where's the phone here? Is it a drug?
No.
But everybody could need a drug. It's needed.
No, Makachina Kakarova. Only drug can one.
Okay, drug.
I think maybe the EU government. I think maybe EU government.
I am working at Nabon came to Nabon in a lend. You was in a lenny, madam. You was in a lenny Nabon. Nabon Kuno. Manenum, the governor could not choose anything bonk at all. Anything hard drug, not tell us here. Okay, lenny Nabon. That's good. In a nefoba. If I bo Obaru strike force in conjunction with Oboko Security Network, Vigilante of Olobatala. So, if I be warning to everybody being Obaru, what drug in a lele, in a zuori, in a me picking pocket, in a me armed robbery. The security network of Obaru is very tight and they are watching. Okay, money pack out of Obaru. Okay, money is your Obaru poor. Obu ni nwere efe na alụ. Ọ karị mma na isi Ogbaru pụọ. Mana ọ bụ na oriki isi n'ọya ka ịchọrọ izu m. Ogbaru vigilante will get you. Like all these people.
I mean, if they are hoodlums, drug dealers, drug peddlers, as the guy, has said, petty thieves and all of that. It's a good start, but dehumanizing them that way is unacceptable. But it's the way they do things in Nigeria to show that they are working. Police do the same. If you check police parading their own, arrested petty criminals. So, but go after the real, the kidnappers, these ones who are like capturing people and collecting ransoms and all of that, in and out of that place, go after them. The guy that is in charge of the vigilante himself is a known cultist, right? And a criminal. Yeah. So he is believed to be capable of understanding the hideouts of petty criminals, and they've given them guns to go after any known criminal, put it that way, in Anambra state to clean the state of all kinds of criminals. Like they have them in Imo states under Hopeless Uzodimba. What's the Hopeless Uzodimba's strike force, especially the ones that are linked to the Tiger base in Owerri? What they ended up doing is to target those they considered as, political opponents or the thugs of their political opponents. If they can't get them picked up, arrested that way, dehumanized and locked up, they get them killed, straight up shoot them and kill them. Now they have to call them is to say, oh, they are IPOB. And a lot of people have lost their lives in their hands in Imo State. So I hope Soludom's vigilante, they will not resort to the jungle justice that are known, I mean, that is kind of known with this kind of arrangement. It's going to happen. It's unavoidable because, it's Nigeria. You get what I mean? Until when something is going to happen and they will disband them. Sometimes the guy who is the head of the vigilante and some of his boys, they will be accused of something later when they want to discard them after using them. So it is just like catch-22. It just never ends, kind of. But let's leave that. Congratulations to this community in Enugu who are celebrating the return of Ekwere Madu's wife. See, a few years back, I think it was about 3 years or 4 years ago, Ekwere Madu, Senator Ekwere Madu, Ike Ekwere Madu, and his wife, they were both convicted for human trafficking as well as organ trafficking in the UK. But the wife has been released, and I think Ekwere Madu will be due for release in 2028 or thereabouts, in another 3 years or so. So the communities in Enugu, where this former golden son of Enugu came from, Eke Ekwere Madu. Was Ekwere Madu not a deputy governor in Enugu at some point? Was he the deputy governor to Chimaroke Nnamani? I can't remember. Because I remember that this other guy from Abia, that one is Yinaya Abaribe, who is also a senator, used to be the deputy governor to ex-convict Oji Uzokalu. So in my head, I always believed that Ekwere Madu was a deputy governor, then he became a senator, and then he became a deputy senate president. He's one of the most powerful guys from the eastern part of Nigeria politically at some point. But things didn't go well. So let me give you the backstory. Ike Ekwere Madu and then his wife, they have a daughter. And this daughter was suffering from heart problem, like heart disease or thereabouts. So they needed to give her heart replacement or so. So they did not, even though the girl lives in the UK, their daughter. Now, they did not go through the right channel by putting her on the list of those who needs this transplant. But it's a kidney disease. So they didn't put her on the list. Rather, they decided that they would look for a donor. Now, normally, a donor in this part of the world, if you want to have a donor, that donor must be a member of your family. And they must give you the kidney free of charge. You can't buy it. You can't buy body parts. You can't buy organ in the UK. But I don't know, Ekwere Madu was supposed to be a lawyer. But what did they do? They went on to go and look for a boy. Not a single member of their family was willing to give a kidney to Ekwere Madu's daughter, right? So they found a young boy, a very poor boy from a poor home, right? And they approached his mother by promising the mother that they would send the boy to school. They paid the mom. I think they paid the mom 1.5 million or something like that, right? With the promise that if the boy can give his kidney to save their daughter. Another thing is that they did not even carry out this normal test that you have to test if this person's kidney is compatible with the recipient, the donor and the recipient. They didn't do any of that. Okay? And they just got a visa for the boy by claiming that the boy was a member of their family. And then they shipped the boy down to the UK. It was when they were doing the test, running the test on the boy here in the UK, that they started questioning him, that is he aware what they are coming here to do? that he's coming here to do that. He's coming to give his kidney. And the boy was acting strange, like he didn't know. They also asked him if he is aware that he is going to be on medication for the rest of his life after giving his kidney. The guy was acting strange. He didn't know. There was no plan for the medical support for the young boy after the donation. I mean, after donating his kidney. There was no plan, no nothing per se. It was just for him to come. They will take his kidney and they will return him back to Nigeria. So the doctors here now said, well, he's not really compatible with the girl. So immediately they realized that the boy is incompatible. So they returned him back to the flat in London. And guess what? They started maltreating him. He's now useless to them, right? So what did the boy do? Right? The boy approached the police to go and report himself. Told them why he came to the UK. And then who brought him to the UK. And what they have now been doing to him and telling him, I mean, you know, it was like, we are going to have to return him back to Nigeria. He's useless to us now. Meanwhile, they promised that they were going to kind of treat him like a son to the mother. This is the story. Even though Nigerians have developed their own different stories by saying the boy is only acting clever by half. They said he is aware. They said they paid him so much money, but they didn't pay him any real money. Imagine somebody taking your kidney for less than 1,000 pounds, like 800 pounds for your kidney. And you are going to be on dialysis for the rest of your life as well. But there was no plan for that. So it was to give his kidney, maybe go back to Nigeria and die. So the system here frowned at that. So they lied about his age. Ekweremadu that wrote the letter that got the boy his visa lied all through. So they waited for Ekweremadu to come to the UK. And upon arrival in the UK, was arrested. He tried to wriggle out of it, but the evidence was so much. So they arrested him, arrested his wife, and within 2 weeks of thereabout, they were sentenced to years in jail. So the wife has kind of like finished her own jail term and returned back to Nigeria. And this is how she was received in the market. In one market in Enugu, this is how they celebrated the return of Ekweremadu's wife.
This is audio. This is only of the market. The women of Umpa are rejoicing that they had the good news that the wife of the single purpose of Chicken Commander has been released. So Umpu are accumulated in their numbers at only Umpu market. So can we see that the people of Umpa are very, very happy. Having had the good news that the single purpose of Chicken Commander wife has been released. So as you can see, everywhere is very, very hot. And the people are waiting. Thank you. As we give you more updates from Olimpo Markets.
York Markets is called. Yeah, you're right. Even the doctor that the doctor that facilitated the whole kind of like arrangement as well is also jailed here in the UK. So the two of them are still in jail. And I think Ekweremadu is due for release in 2027 or 2028, thereabout. As that. Anyway, that is that. Let's go to this Abuja Kaduna Road. There is this controversy It's kind of like real, you know, when this, when the supposed arrogant devil Umahi is forced to give a rebuttal, automatically means that the controversy is real. So what happened? Last week, or thereabouts, Devil Umahi, who announced that they've revoked the contracts of some roads awarded to some contractors, including the one they awarded to Julius Baja Construction. And that is the Abuja-Kaduna Road, a multi-billion naira road contract that has been awarded for years now, for more than maybe about 7-8 years. But it was never completed. And according to them, the contract was given to Julius Baja. Julius Baja is yet to complete the project, and that means it's behind schedule. Because of this, Devil Umahi canceled the contract and re-awarded the contract. And he re-awarded the contract of over 60 or 70 billion naira to a company that is not active. So the Arewas, they figured that out and discovered that there is a chance that there is no intention of actually fixing the road. So a company called InfoQuest was given the contract by Devil Umahi. And people did a quick background check on this particular company that got these tens of billions of naira road projects. And on the, on the, current of, what do you call them? CAC, what do you call those things again? Companies Affairs Commission or something. Is that what they're called? The CAC. This is the body that registers businesses in that contraption, by the way. They discovered that the company that they just awarded the contract of tens of billions of naira to has been inactive for years now, right? And then they traced the address, the registered address of this business to a house in Lagos. That is what even makes it more ridiculous, all right? So InfoQuest International Limited registered to somewhere in Lagos. So when they check the address on Google Street View, the picture on the right, circled there, is supposed to be the headquarters of this company, Corporate Affairs. Thank you, Jerry. Corporate Affairs Commission, that's what they are called. You know, the address of this company is, Baba, this house, somewhere in, I think it's somewhere in Surulere, Abiyaba, or somewhere in Lagos. And it's a residential area. Okay? Now, that triggered the Arewas to believe that this particular company is just being used as a conduit, a cover, that it is they have no intention of completing the road, not anytime soon, not under this Tifnumbu, like many other lies that they have been sort of fed. Now, Devil Umahi had to come out and say something arrogantly as usual, right? His defense. He said, no, I didn't award contract to a faceless company or inactive company. Maybe he can convince you. I'm not convinced though.
I want the press to understand what Daily Trust was talking about was InfoQuest. Somebody went and registered a company called InfoQuest. The company that we recommended for the job is InfoQuest. There is Disco and Q. So everything is international limited. So the InfoQuest is what the Daily Trust is talking about. We didn't give our job to InfoQuest. So, but InfoQuest is very smart and very intelligent. When they saw that a company registered InfoQuest to claim their land in Abuja, they went to court and they got judgment in court, and they went to the CAC requesting to deregister InfoQuest for fraud. And I have documents to prove that they registered InfoQuest. Q. They just put a small dot on O, and that is what happened. So the Daily Trust owes Minister of Works very deep apology, because we didn't give job to the company. They say we gave job. It amounts to demarketing the company. It amounts to inciting the public against the Minister of Works. It amounts to create doubt in the mind of our boss, Mr. President. So they owe us that serious public apology in at least 5 newspapers. And the company are talking is not the company we get job. Do not publish anything, because if you publish, there will be consequences. And so he did his best. And again, the Daily Trust did not even come to us. We are the procurement entity. They are the reviewing entity, the DPP or BPP. So that's one. Number 2, if you want to ask a different question, you can ask. Because the company that they are talking did not pay tax. It's not the company we gave a job. Is that okay?
Oh dear. That is his defense. And that is to say, how did Q and W, how did they look alike? Info Quest. Info West. You clearly, in your document of contract that is online, said this Kaduna Abuja Road is awarded to Info Quest, not Info West. So how can Q look like W? And I was in there saying, no, they just put dots in the O. Okay. If you put dots in O, for example, let's say Info West. So that would be like an Inf West. That means you say in, because it is the O that they put a dot in to make it look like Q according to him. So in. So if it is Info West and the O has a dot inside it to make it look like Q. So that will make it like, it won't be Info Quest. It will be Inf West. That's a QWEST. That is not what your, even though they can easily just kind of like, since they have been caught, and they are the ones that all they have to do is just go and print another one and say, no, we mean Info West. They are the one in charge of the same current affairs, Sabi? Commission. It is similar to the nonsense he did with that Lagos-Calabar Expressway, or Coastal Road, rather. They plan on building, or according to them, constructing over 700 kilometers of road. And you know what that means? It means 700 kilometers to 700 kilometers back. So that makes it 1,000, it's actually 745. So that makes it 1,490 kilometers both ways. 745, 745, right? And this was from September 2023. Now, if you have been constructing a 700 kilometer road, which will also need 18 long bridges on both sides, 18. And I'm talking about building or constructing the 11 to 12 kilometer third mainland bridge constructing about 15 of that, and then maybe constructing another maybe 8 kilometers bridges on top islands on this your coastal road. And from September 2023 to January 2025, they have not constructed their 40 kilometers. They promised to construct, this same madman, they promised to construct 5 lanes here, 5 lanes there, making it 10 lanes coastal road, right? And September 2023, September 2024, January 2025 will make it how many? That's going to make it like 16 months. So 16 months. It took you 16 months to construct. They haven't even constructed the 40 kilometers. So this is them from this, from the Bar Beach in Lagos. Sorry, not Bar Beach in Lagos. From the Eco Atlantic in Lagos. So where they have currently gotten to now, right? Now, this same madman that demolished multi-million dollars businesses on his path and then has taken over people's lands, they have now come back after a year later, a few months after, to say they are no longer constructing 5 lanes and 5 lanes anymore. They are now constructing just 3 lanes and 3 lanes. Devil Umahi. So you believe him at your own peril. So I don't believe him. Wherever he says, I don't. All right. And this same coastal road, as we speak right now, you will see the Ronukus telling you that the work is going on. But guess what? For 16 months, for a contract they said will last for 3 years. That's what they said. They said it will take 3 years to complete. Baba, 3 years is 36 months, right? They've already used 16 months. So out of 1,490 kilometer road, right? They've only done less than 40 kilometers as you are watching this video today, as of today. They have paid out 1.2, so 1.2 or 1.3 trillion naira already. So Shaguri, as we are talking right now, they have paid 1 trillion out. However, in their 2025 budget, there's not even a single mention of this coastal road. The OGBT is for them to construct a road. They will claim to be coastal road, a road that is going to lead to their Eco-Atlantic as well as the reclaimed land where majority of you will need a pass to get to in the nearest future. They've also told people that, oh yeah, we are also starting from Calabar. We are also starting from Ondo. And all of this is just to further fuel their propaganda. So the Arewas who believes that Devil Umahi and Tipnumbu, they are playing with their destiny, they may be right. I think they are right. But they also deserve the deceit, the lies, considering what led all of us to this state. Okay? As we speak, for example, in Kano, as people complain about poverty, this, poverty, that, their own governor has given out 2,832 goats as a poverty alleviation program. So they gave goats each to the poor Kano people to fight poverty. And people have been complaining, others got wheelbarrows to go and be doing alabaru and earn their own living. Can you see the smile or the laugh, the happiness on the face of that young woman on the right? Because they were told that their goat can become, if they feed the goat very well, the goat will give birth. They can be selling the children. They can be milking the goats. And before you know it, they can become adults themselves. And they will be out of poverty in no time. So now, the funniest is that this guy claims that he spent over 3-point-something billion naira in procuring all these 2,832 or so goods that they use in empowering their people. Now you see, on the face of the girl, the lady on the right, I don't know if she's happy that dinner is served. That for the first time in a long time, they are going to actually have meat, goat meat in their food. Or she's happy indeed that our poverty will soon disappear when this female goat will give birth to other goats in the next, what do you call it? In the next few months. These are the kind of people in charge of Nigeria, ladies and gentlemen. See, the Minister of Health in Nigeria, his name is something Pate. Now, he is currently in Davos, in Switzerland. As we all know, the criminals in charge of Nigeria will never use the health care system in Nigeria. Their doctors are in India, in Qatar, Saudi, in Germany, France, in London, and some in America. This is a place where they go to see doctors. They will never use the same hospitals in Nigeria, but they will tell you a lot of ideas of how much they are working to improve the healthcare system in Nigeria, but they will never use it. Here is their minister. In case if you don't know him, for the first time, I can show you the Minister of Health under Tiknumbu. He is in Davos, just the same as a shitty man. Watch this.
It's not a disease. It's not as visible as it should be. For us in Nigeria, we had an ambitious agenda in terms of our health sector renewal investment initiative to start aligning and focusing our efforts towards improving population health outcomes. You can't get through that without looking at reproductive, maternal, newborn, and child health. So focusing on that, expanding our primary healthcare system, training our frontline health workers, more than 53,000 of them, thousands of primary healthcare centers revitalized, but also dealing with financial protection, because many women don't access services because they cannot afford them. Taking that barrier out, whether it's for reproductive health services, antenatal care, when they come to deliver, or emergency obstetric services, we're on a path to make that free so that women who are eligible can have those services. The difference between life and death for some women is affordability of things like cesarean section, mobilizing resources to be able to do that. The innovations that have been developed, whether it's postpartum hemorrhage therapeutics, the drapes that have been developed, hematinics, multiple micro, to ensure that women get them through the retail outlets. In addition to that, ensuring the governance of the sector, the performance, accountability, and the data systems are able to track that women are being served. We have People's Perception Survey to track that, so that we're responding to the needs of the population we serve with women as part of that population. So using data to recalibrate what we're trying to do. But importantly, also focusing on the leadership of women in the context of our health system. If we really are to achieve universal coverage, to optimize our population, then I think women's health, not only on the delivery side, but on the crafting of the policies and the programming. We just launched a National Health Fellows, one health fellow per local government, young people, different sectors, to help drive accountability, to learn, but we're also organizing and I hope nurturing the next generation of health leaders in Nigeria to build this. And in that, being explicit that we need young women to step up, because in the health workforce, we have significant proportion of women, but there seems to be a glass ceiling in many areas that they're not able to break through. That will help bridge this perception gap, complement the data, the improvement that are necessary, so that we can truly achieve an inclusive health
ẹni òfò ni ẹ ṣòfò láyé ẹ tún ṣe lálìkìyàmọ ẹ̀yin rádaràda wọ̀nyí.
Lie with so much confidence. They will be talking about data. They will be talking about technology. They will be talking about how they are refurbishing health centers, health centers. And they are doing all of that because of the money that these international organizations are sharing to the poor countries. All of that talk, you where they watch me from Nigeria, have you seen improved healthcare in Nigeria? Do you have access to healthcare? For real, I'm just asking. You should take a tour to some of this time around, we even just leave the local ones. Let's use the federal, because he's a federal minister. Take a tour, go to the Abuja General Hospital. Go on. Number one, first, check how much is the budget of healthcare in Nigeria. And when you read the budget, okay, you need to remove the recurrent expenditure from it, the money for salaries, if they ever pay it, by the way. And whatever is now left for serious capital projects. And that's your answer. That's all you need to know. But they have to go to all these international organizations and the rest, sound like, read all of their notes and everything, go on there and just talk and talk and talk. But in reality, when you go back to Nigeria, you realize that there's almost nothing going on except the World Health Organization sponsored outreach. On the part of government, go and say, what are you doing? Like as a government, what are you doing? What have you done? It is all talk. Now we will say Donald Trump don't pull America out of World Health Organization. There's a chance that the money they always share to these supposed poor countries will now dwindle. There won't be so much money coming anymore on so many things. International donors. We are counting, like Nigeria is a place where the criminal politicians are budgeting money to buy themselves expensive automobile cars and all that. Then they will wait on international donors to come and give them $100 million, $50 million. Meanwhile, the money they themselves are expending or looting is in billions. But they are waiting for million donations so that they can fight polio, they can fight malaria, they can fight this, they can fight that. But the government, when it comes to, okay, what exactly is your own plan and how are you funding your supposed plans? They're just all talks. Talks, all talks, no action. That's it, that's the minister. Meanwhile, Shitty Man is kind of having fun in this same Davos, okay? I have this longer clip. Please sit back, okay, and watch this. Where apart from what he did yesterday, this one is for today, where Shitty Man and others were given this kind of like, VIP welcome, and then they started sounding like someone who just finished reading Wikipedia as usual. Watch this.
Very good.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
Very good. Very good. How are you?
I think you're engaged. We enter.
Up and down.
What do you have at
How's the morning? How for me?
What is achieved in the last year? We're making progress every day, so we're very pleased to be
an action plan for investment in Africa's digital economy, not just for the continent.
Going to President of Botswana, congratulations on
that moment, because it's the only infrastructure that reaches most of the Somalis, even in the rural areas.
Okay, please come.
All right, her in the back.
Yes, let's do it.
Fantastic.
Yes,
send me your details and then...
How did they?
There is great yields ahead, and that's also needed, of course. If the Secretary General of the Free Trade Agreement is given all the support he deserves, it can boost intra-African trade with staggering 50%. And by 2050, we can have a $29 trillion economy in Africa. Compared to today, that's almost 1/3 of the global GDP.
The AFCFTA is not only an economic arrangement, but a bold statement of our shared destiny. And I crave your indulgence, ladies and gentlemen, to oblige you with a job done by a consultancy firm, Korn Perry. By 2035, there will be 65 million global talent deficits. The United States, Russia, and Brazil will suffer from 6 million talent deficits. And Africa stands at a unique opportunity to take advantage of these talent deficits. Ours is the youngest continent. And by 2050, Nigeria will surpass the United States, will be the third most populous nation on earth. Our population will hit 440 million. As we are talking, there are 220 million telecom subscribers in Nigeria, 163 million internet users. So this provides us with a vista of opportunities for empowering our people. The maximum we have ever gained from the process of oil was 35 billion in 2011. But India, last year alone, got about $120 billion from outsourcing alone. We are a young continent, and the future belongs to us. So I'm absolutely certain that in the fullness of time, Africa that meets the agricultural age, that meets the industrial age, I believe will leapfrog to the post-industrial knowledge-driven age. And my big brother, President Cyril Ramaphosa, is here. I met him about 40 years ago on television. He's a swashbuckling Secretary General of COSATU. He's still around, and by the grace of God, Africa will leapfrog to a new generation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nuisance, Lele.
You know, they said that Tinubu want to build $1 trillion economy. APC met Nigeria economy at over $570 billion economy. Today, Nigeria economy is doing so terribly, so badly. The Nigeria economy is somewhere less than $200 billion. They don't have stable electricity. They are never going to have it. Ordinarily, which I kind of would agree, for Nigeria to have stable electricity, in the Nigerian context, you are likely going to need at least maybe $50 billion investment in your own energy sector, so that you can have, it's only when you have 24 hours electricity that you can begin to talk about an active economy, that you can begin to talk about building an economy. That, in the next 10 years, in the next 20 years, we are going to be a 1 trillion or 500 billion, or can you call billion or trillion? You don't say because you have a population of 200 million, and by 2050, you are going to have a population that is more than the population of America. That's your yardstick. Today, Nigeria electricity continue to collapse. National grid continue to collapse. The Nigerian manufacturing sector is almost dead. It's not dead, by the way. But I like to use the word almost, because there are those who are still kind of pushing it under these serious, terrible circumstances. They are still like trying to kind of keep their heads above water, while the criminal politicians continue to budget hundreds of, billion for what? For darkness. So how do you have a working economy when you don't even have an idea of how to have a sustainable power supply? You don't have security. You do not even know the number of your people. There is no verifiable or scientifically verified or scientifically proven population of Nigeria. No. Politicians and the World Bank, they continue to just project. You know what? If the population of Nigeria is 150 million in 2015, definitely it is now 200 million. They say, yes, we are 200 million. So by 2030, they are going to come back and tell you that if the population of Nigeria is 200 million in 2025, now it is going to be 300 million. Say, yeah, we are 300 million. And that is why they can't really plan it, because nobody has any reliable, genuine data of the Nigeria population, unfortunately. So, fraudster Sotobo Keyamo, was at the Senate. I think it was yesterday, Was it yesterday or today? Not sure. Anyway, doesn't matter. Otobo Keyamo is about to carry out his own fraud, just like Adisirika. Remember Adisirika? Yeah, that is the Boko Haram Minister of Aviation. The guy that said that by year 2022, Nigeria will begin to manufacture aircraft. But they couldn't even give you a national carrier. He ended up defrauding you of over 100 billion naira on a fraudulent, fake Nigeria here. Today, Nigeria here, nobody is here. 169 billion naira budgeted for it, nobody see any shishi. Except the images, the logo that they designed and uploaded for the Buhari idiots, the Buhari Deans, the Buhari Didiris, the Buhari Dinotus, the Buhari Dijatus, the then lover of Nigeria. You remember them? Some of them metamorphosed into the Ronukus of today, the bad idiot, the bad stats, who are now today's emergency lover of Nigeria. So, fraudster Sotobo Keyamo is pushing his own. He didn't give dates. That's the difference. But he said very soon, Nigeria will begin to manufacture aircraft. They don't get electricity. Country will not get electricity. When they do AI, want to manufacture aircraft. They want to have $1 trillion economy. And this is what the optimism of the mumus that listen to this mofos. This is the kind of optimism they call patriotism. Let us just, let us wish Nigeria well. Let us pray for them. This is the kind of vision. What vision? A vision of darkness, a vision of fraud, vision 2020, vision 2030. I've been at vision 2050. So he was there to explain to the Senate or the senators, a bunch of criminals like himself, the reason why Tipnombu broke the aviation school into 6 geopolitical zones.
Zaria has been a star for all of us. We've been very, very proud of Zaria. Zaria has been there since 1964, serving the entire country. And most of our pilots and the captains you see today pass through Zaria. So it's actually a pride for us. And it has received a lot of commendations from ICAO, a lot of certificates from all over the world. Right now, we're having problem of space in Zaria. To give you an update, sir, I'm sure you graciously approved it last year or the year before for us to buy an additional hotel in Zaria because we could not accommodate the students again in the main campus because of the burgeoning population of the school. So we had to now buy the Zaria Hotel. The Zaria Hotel is now an annex, even within Zaria, of that training college. And we expect the populations to even grow beyond that. So the question we ask ourselves is that, are we going to continue to buy houses in Zaria, within Zaria, to accommodate more population who are willing to come to the school? And if we are doing that, why not give other parts of this country the opportunity to also have access to those campuses too? Why continue to expand and buy private houses and hotels within one town in a country of 240 million people who want access to that? The same thing happened in the law school, sir. The law school, it was about the same time that Zaria was established in Kaduna, that the law school was established in Lagos. It was about 1960, 64, thereabout, that same period. But the law school has still grown beyond Lagos. The law school has campuses all over the country now for people to have easy access to law school. So it is one country, sir. The other people who they have campuses now, they have been, named. Boeing has one. I think or Yola has one, and on like that. They are extremely grateful to the federal government. They are happy that they now have easy access to training too, training facilities too. Yeah. So we cannot continue to expand only within Zaria. Other parts of this country should also have access to training facilities too. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Rod Stos Otobokeyamo. You can give that to him. He's a smooth talker, a very, very smooth liar. Tifnombu's achievement. Because the idea is to begin to break the northern Nigeria's control over some certain institutions in the contraption. Remember, we are now in the era of Yorubalocon, Yorubanization. And if everything, we're having a meeting, the Yoruba Union meeting, and we're having a chat around the actions of Tifnombu. And one of us was, a little bit kind of like optimistic, just like some of you would be. Say, I don't like Tifnombu, but I want Tifnombu to show these northerners, that they don't have control, they should not have control over everything. You know that Tifnombu is also planning to move some of the weaponry of Nigeria down south. After Bukwari moved them up north. Kaduna, which houses all the military kind of, paramilitary formations in northern Nigeria. It's like the Pentagon of Nigeria, kind of. So it gives these deluded northerners the idea of Nigeria can break up. You know, like, where would the rest of Nigeria see the weapons to fight? Because their own idea of breaking up of Nigeria is that there's going to be war. And if it leads to any war, the North will be in control of the weapons. The South will rely on other kind of, maybe guns and all that. So the idea of moving the weapons of Nigeria and placing them strategically in other part of Nigeria is to reduce the influence of the North when it comes to control over weaponry. That idea makes some people from the South feel like, yes, we have to show that. I said, no, come on, man. Tifnumbu's breaking all these institutions and the rest of them, they are not, number one, he's not doing that because he wanted to bring equity to Nigeria, because that is not what you really need. If the country is well managed and well run, and even if the country is practicing true federalism, okay, so you don't need to break institutions and, give this one the helicopter repairer academy from the same aviation. They say this one's the drones repairing academy. Go and drop them in Niger Delta. No. That's not how it works. One of the reasons why Tifnumbu is believed to be breaking some of this stuff is that, especially the defense, is that they believe that keeping the weaponry of Nigeria up north as it is currently, right, makes it easier for them in the north to plan a coup. And if all this stuff happening in the West African countries like Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, all these guys, and he's afraid, that if the weaponry of Nigeria is concentrated as it is currently in Kaduna and a few other places in the north, it's a threat to all his state capture plan. So to be smart, it's better we remove some of them from there. That's not even being smart, but that's an ideal. That's the idea they sold him. So when you hear that Tifnumbu is moving weapons out of the north, you think it's because he's trying to break them in the north so that the south. No, it's not. In fact, where they are moving them into, they don't have any clue, and they have no plan of you having access to them, by the way. So similarly, when he moved the central bank out of the operation of the central bank to Lagos, it wasn't because he wanted a balance. You know what I mean? No, it's not doing all of that because of that. Sometimes, in its way, it is to, is to rely on your sentiments. I am the person who can always be very honest with you, that to say, we don't trust ourselves. So if the Yorubas don't trust the Hausas, if the Hausas don't trust the Igbos, and if the Igbos don't trust the Fulanis, why are you interested in being in the same country? You see? So why do you want to remain in the same country if you don't trust yourselves? You will see people that will tell you and say, well, I don't like Tifnumbu, but I support the tax kit, because to them, it's going to punish them in the north. Because the north, they've remained like parasites, leeches that have been feeding fat from their host, from the south. So everything else that is surrounding this is a tax fraudulent bill, right? They don't care. You know what I mean? Like, as long as, the south is going to cut down whatever the north is getting, they are fine. She gets. So I'm like, why do you want to be in the same country then? Don't be the same country. Let everybody just like, call everybody and say, do you still want to be in the same country? Yes or no? And if people says no, then you break it off. That should be the ideal thing. Rather than us hoping to punish one another. Here you get. Wanted the Hausa, the Yorubas to punish the Igbos. You wanted the Yorubas, the Igbos to punish the Fulanis. You wanted the Hausas, the Fulanis to punish the Yorubas. Everybody is trying to punish themselves. Everyone is trying to. But when you tell them that, una no like una self, why can't you just break the whole thing up? Any reform that makes you happy that some people will be punished, some people will be shortchanged, some people they're supposed to hear. Why do you want to remain in that country together? The truth is, you are not compatible. Why not just break up? Why not just make everybody just go their separate ways? But there is a joy in seeing yourselves suffer, in seeing yourselves bleed, in seeing yourselves healed. You will see the Igbos that will tell you that the killings in northern Nigeria, that is their business, a family business. They don't care. You will see the Yorubas that will tell you that, the insecurity in the eastern part of Nigeria that is affecting their economy is their business. In fact, I want them to continue. You will see the Hausas the Hausas that will be saying they are very comfortable with the decimation of the Fulani and their people as well. Why the Fulanis? It's like everybody wants to see everybody suffer. The person with the suffer most. They can laugh at you. They can celebrate your losses. They can celebrate your destruction. They are waiting every day. Who they suffer today? Whose region they go destroy today? Who they cry today? So that we can laugh and say, yes, kill them. But when somebody like us come out and say, una no like una self, why don't you just kind of like come together? Say, you know what? Let's go our separate ways. Let the Igbos have their own country. Let the Yorubas have theirs. Let the Arewas have theirs. No, we are a big country. We are the biggest population of Africa. We are the best black people. Black waiting, the largest concentration of black slaves in the world. That's what you are. Tell me I'm lying now. What's something now? So that is why the likes of Tifnumbu and others will continue to play the what is called the divide and rule. Imagine APC, Egbekebe, under Bukwari. They had this report of the oil spillage in Ogoni, River States, right? The degradation of the environment, the soil, the water, the death of aquatic life and all that in that place. But they were more interested in oil exploration. So they lied to the people and told them that they were going to clean their land. $2.1 billion was spent. Nothing is cleaned. They don't even clean up to maybe one plot of land. But years after that, the same government of Nigeria that is making its money supposedly from the same crude oil don't give a damn about their people. Don't give a damn about people who are there. Nobody cares. They repackaged the whole thing. The Badambu put together a very juicy offer. by promising the supposed leaders, surviving leaders of Ogoni, that if they can promise to allow them to resume oil exploration, they will take care of them handsomely. Not that they have started the cleaning of the place. So no. They took them to Abuja to go and see Tifnumbu. And Tifnumbu too, like Bokwari. I mean, I was looking for the video of that Bokwaris when he met with the Ogoni leaders with Pastor Ruga, sometimes in 2017. Yeah, 2017. This is 2025. It's almost 8 years ago, where they were assured that they will clean the Ogoni land, they will clean the whole place, they even sent Pastor Ruga there. Pastor Ruga even gave a speech telling the people of Ogoni land that finally, after 50 years, the Ogoni land is going to be cleaned. That never happened. So Tifnumbu met with them yesterday. In fact, I think I have a clip of what he told them. Listen to this. This was Tifnumbu.
And abandon the community. That is not a better option. Collectively, we belong in this country. We are all responsible. As much as possible, we cannot in any way rewrite the history, but we can correct some anomalies going forward. Let us put the grievances of the past aside. It cannot heal the wounds. If we continue to be angry, the oil exploiters, they've moved on. But I know what to do in the memory of our beloved ones, so that their sacrifices will not be in vain. You and I must work together to achieve this.
Put the past in the past. That was what Bokwari told them as well. The grease of palms and all that. But I don't know if there was ever a time that they resumed drilling of oil in that place. I'm not sure. But I have heard that before. I have. You have heard that before. But it's been a long time enough that the Stockholm syndrome would have kicked in, unfortunately. Anyway, that is that for tonight. I want to say a very big thank you to you all again for spending your evening with me, as usual, or your afternoon. Enjoy the rest of the day if you are still within the day, but we are at night here. Enjoy the rest of your night as well. Well, kindly like the broadcast as you are on your way out. Like it, share it, and indeed, subscribe to the channel. I am going to see you tomorrow afternoon, where we are going to continue reading this. If you were part of the brunch time today, it's great. It's interesting. We started reading this. Blood on the Niger, an untold story of the Nigerian Civil War. I'll see you again tomorrow.
Máyégún làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Máyégún dáyàrí láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Máyégún làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Máyégún dáyàrí láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Máyégún ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Máyégún dáyàrí láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Máyégún dáyàrí láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já wa sí.
Máyégún dáyàrí láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún dáyàrí láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí.
Máyégún dáyàrí láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún dáyàrí láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Máyégún dáyàrí pòlítíkò.
Máyégún dáyàrí láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún.
Máyégún dáyàrí láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Máyégún dáyàrí láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Máyégún dáyàrí láyé bí nọ́mbà wá.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ̀lọ́mọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o ákàmù máyé ń ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.